fellow panelists and distinguished guests. I think I'd like to begin by first placing on record that Development Alternatives is privileged to have had a great relationship with the government of Bihar, and particularly the Bihar State Pollution Control Board, who work in the brick sector. Right? It has been an amazing journey. It has been well supported by the Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation, and now we have new partners, particularly the UN Accelerator Lab and University of Nottingham in this endeavor. So this has been a long journey, a very effective journey, and I'm just going to give you some flavor or highlights of how we have approached and how our work is organized. So essentially the work of Development Alternatives in Bihar is built on three pillars: climate action, resource efficiency, and air pollution. Right? And not necessarily in that order. These are three very important pillars. The climate action work essentially from a very pioneering initiative of having GHG inventorization, first of the brick sector and of 7-8 other small sectors. Right? This information is non-existent at the state level, right? And we have basically worked very actively with support clearly from the Bihar State Pollution Control Board and the Department of Ministry of Environment, essentially in getting a hang on what the GHG inventory of 2021 is. That's not important because at the next step, we really are modeling, looking at the economic growth trends, what it is going to be, right? And if we are talking about carbon neutrality, really, is that doable? Is that achievable? And really speaking, how, what interventions are required now? And there, obviously, we've looked at some favorable sectors like the distillery, because government has a policy, and in detail at the brick sector, particularly to see what really are the actions that we would require. And as Chairman Dr. Shukla was suggesting, the policy action is very much aligned with the growth trends of the economy. So it's not in abstract, it is driven with that. And particularly if we look at the brick sector itself, the urbanization is rapid. The demand of bricks is going to go through the sky. So what's going to happen? Essentially, that brings us to the second part, which is the resource efficiency, not only mitigating the effect particularly of the brick and soil extraction, but bringing in fly ash, right? And again, this is a policy-driven initiative where what type of support is required to the enterprises, right? Where is the first mover advantage, right? Influencing government in utilizing. So once you have the production, obviously it has to be utilized. So, and all of this is very interesting because policy is driving action on the ground, and we see it. How do how does one feel if there is any action on the ground? Well, at the time we started this work in Bihar, there were 3 fly ash brick enterprises. There is 600 now, and it's our endeavor in working with them to get this to 6,000, which essentially means that 25% of the brick production could possibly be diverted to the fly ash bricks. Right? And finally, on the air pollution, this is again very important because we've been working in the brick sector now for about 30 years, 3 decades, right? And while the cement sector and the steel sector is nationally recognized as hard to abate, this, I'm telling you, is really hard to abate, right? And clearly recognizing the challenges of this, I think the GUI AI app and tool gives us first-hand information, right? It is going to allow us to have data-driven measures and decisions, really, in terms of limiting of brick kilns first, right? I think, as was mentioned, coal is a big problem. because essentially these kilns should be using the best quality coal if we want to cut down the smoke because of open combustion, but they end up using the worst quality coal, right? So how does one use, and right now I think policy imperatives and measures and apparatus is available to make sure that at least can be channeled. And I think the GST, I'm not going to go into detail, but the GST mechanism and coal purchase and monitoring of that really is likely to become a very effective tool in controlling or in transforming the brick sector. So this comes in at a very, very opportune time. We have, we're talking about 70,000 kilns, and I don't want to, there's no correction. These are 70,000 brick kilns in the Indo-Gangetic belt. In the nation, we probably have, I don't know, nobody knows, maybe 3 times as many, right? So I think beginning here will make a lot of difference. Bihar, UP, West Bengal, and Punjab is, I think, already better placed in this. So I think development alternatives, my team looks forward to, enhancing this journey and the experience using the present technology, using tools, but really of making a difference on the ground. Thank you for your attention.